Hello, this is Laxin at the Lair. This is episode 27. I am Chuck Gibson and my co-host over there,
Travis Dowdy, with our guest.
Special guest.
My name's Aaron, Grog Bogart. Legally, the Grog kind of sticks.
Yeah, Grog's a special friend of mine. I've known him for a lot of years, and he's had some rough times in his life, and been out in the street, been all over, and I think this is going to be a pretty amazing interview. So hey, first question: how did you find out about the Lair? When was the first time you came to this place?
Oh, God dang.
Talking to Mike.
Okay, I think I was hanging out with, the stage used to be over there.
It was a long time ago.
And this is mad punk rock and metal, like back in the old 15th Street Tavern days and stuff, and like you really wanted to get up close, loud music, and a good drunken night was the Lair. And I was probably about 19, 18. Yeah.
You were 21.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
No, it's all right.
Well, I'm 50 now, so it don't really matter.
I think the statute of limitations is passed on that. I think we're all right.
Yeah, I think so too.
It's not encouraged nowadays. We do not let underagers in here.
Yeah. So when I first met you, you were playing in a band, right?
Okay, kind of like, God, I probably just moved back from Texas, and I was in a like speed thrash skate punk band down there. I wrote a lot of lyrics for. And then I came up here, and then I met some people. We were trying to do a band, but it didn't really work out.
What did you play?
Okay, I grew up playing the saxophone, clarinet, oboe, piano, and trumpet, trombone, and I kind of, after Les Claypool gave me a bass guitar in Austin, I started fiddling with the bass.
Okay, so let's dig further into that. You met Les?
Yeah, Leslie. I was with Dimebag Darrell and Phil Ansamo in Austin at this bar because I met him in Deep Ellum. We cruised over there, and we're sitting in the back room of some like country like rock bar, mostly country music, and somewhere in Austin. I'm like totally wasted, and this guy's just messing with the bass. I'm like, hey, that's pretty cool. He goes, here, try it, and I'm messing with it, and he goes, hey, you seemed like you have natural talent, and he just left the room. And then Dimebag's like, hey man, let's go. Phil's starting another fight. I got a ride. And I was like, oh, okay. And I went to set it down, and Phil's like, what are you doing? I'm like, well, dude's bass. He goes, man, he gave that to you. That's fucking Claypool of Primus. So I was like, I didn't even know who fucking Primus was at the time.
He gave you a bass?
That's crazy, man.
Wow. That's awesome. And you were Dimebag?
Oh yeah, he's really cool.
Wow.
No, okay. I used to MMA fight in Texas.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I'm from here though.
Oh, were you? Okay.
Sorry.
So I know you. I was going to ask some kind of hard questions, but questions I'm curious about. I know that you were on the streets for a while, and you have been on the streets, and you've been off and on. How long? When did you first move on to? I've been homeless, so I know it sucks. But when did you first become homeless? Can I ask that?
I mean, honest truth, I've never really truly been homeless. Okay. I've just maybe been houseless.
That's awesome.
In 2016, I fell 40 feet off a ladder. I had a painting and remodel company. I was over by DU, fell 40 feet, suffered a closed head brain injury. They were amazed I didn't break any bones, but that's how I lost my top teeth finally, after all the punches. But so I ended up on the streets. Like, I lost a lot of my memory. I was dealing with delusions, and I came to the only neighborhood I really knew most of my fucking young adult life of just partying and having a good time, and people that I knew that actually, like, believe it or not, give a shit about what's going on in their community.
Yeah, that's why you're on.
And
this
it was
right
this
now.
specific like area, Colfax.
Yeah,
and,
right
like,
here,
Denver.
man. Like, ever since like I could fucking like ditch out my dad's window and shit and come downtown. I was in Cap Hill since I was like 14, 15 years old, you know. I ended up running with the original Gutter Punks, this, that, whatever. But I moved on, but had troubles. I've owned some companies. But after the head injury, like, I didn't know where to go.
Sure.
Like, I was having issues, and I couldn't even remember how to get to my step-grandma's house in Aurora.
Right.
You know? or my dad's phone number. It's like, whoa. And dealt with delusions. I ended up in this neighborhood and just people knew me kind of a lot of my life. I used to work for Ready Man, the Hannafins, man. But a lot of people tripped out because I'd walk in wearing my tool belt. So I'm actually I went into the union without even having to take the test and came in as a master painter and tradesman, and I was actually one of the few people in union history that could negotiate their own wage. My father was real proud of that. I can do anything in a house from the ground up. I'm a true master carpenter. I love doing furniture. Shannon, I etch, I do art. When Shannon got married to what's his name, I etched her a owl on a seashell. Shannon from Satire. I'd done murals, sketching, but I just love working with my hands.
Yep.
For sure.
But anyways, when I worked for the Hannafins, man, I went in there. I worked, believe it or not, a day labor place. I was making $25 to $30 an hour out of there.
Wow.
You know, I used to make really good money, but like I said, that head injury, that's when I really, I was truly on the streets. My family didn't understand what was going on with me. They thought I was just out here whacked out on drugs and drinking, which I'm known to do. But
just a little.
It just, you know, it's just like I dealt with a lot of crazy stuff. And honest truth, I mean, it was Tony, Demi, Shannon, Louis down there at his little shop across from Ready Man, the Hannafins. Joe's dad has walked up to me several times on the streets, like, he calls me Aaron Bogart, like my legal personal last name. He's like, you know, you were a really good guy and you still got potential. Throw me a $50 bill sometime.
So how long were you kind of in that fuzzy space?
Honest truth, until the pandemic. Like,
yeah.
That changed everything.
You know what? Like, I was living this, like, okay, remembering things, messed up, reconnecting with my original family, just getting drunk and having a good time and smiling here, and the pandemic hit. And I'll be honest, I kind of snapped. You know, I'm like, whoa, this is crazy. You know, there were no more feeds for people. People were scared to walk up to a homeless guy and hand him a $1 bill because they thought we were carrying it. And It's like, wait, you know, we have the toughest immune systems in the world. We're like cockroaches. We're in the filth, baby. You know what I'm saying?
You are a cockroach.
I mean, when you're exposed to the elements regularly, yeah, there's an argument for that, I guess. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, a lot of homeless die of drunkenness and drugs or just poor life and
exposure.
But how many homeless people do you actually know that died from COVID? And how many houses did? People wash their hands way too much. We have natural antibodies and bacteria that protect us. So, like, yeah, you want to be clean, but
sure.
But it was just crazy, and I snapped. Just how everything just stopped, and there was this true line and division between houses and us. I kind of lived in this house for 8 years off and on, whatever, but it's. That the COVID just really showed like a lot of really scary stuff to people, and I'm really happy that a lot of people I love made it through it. I'm sad.
I'm happy you survived.
I'm sad of a lot of people I lost, but I snapped a little bit. I ended up going to prison because I did some really dumb shit to survive. You know, I didn't really hurt nobody. I just took somebody's money.
You just say jail.
But you know, I've atoned for that.
Sure.
You know. And I'm here now. I'm actually on parole and doing the best I can. And
you're doing good.
I'm glad to be on this podcast, man. I love this guy.
Yeah, I really do. Yeah, Demi, like you. I had to say the story because this is one of the reasons why I truly love you is because you used to walk Demi home.
Oh yeah,
like
when
3,
she
4
first
in
started
the morning because she's like, I'm walking.
Yeah.
I'm like, girl, you are not walking down Colfax at 3 in the morning.
Okay, this is how I met Demi. So I came over to the bar or something. You're still mad at me. You're like, Grog. And she's just like, what? And she came over the corner, and that's when me and Catnip, Aaron White, used to sit around the corner. We just sit there and draw and do graffiti. We used to graffiti the walls on the storage unit, man. I actually got us permission to do it as long as there was nothing vulgar or this or that or political, which was pretty cool. I should have brought some more sketches. But So we'd sit there and just draw, and like kids on the street would walk up, be like, "What are you guys doing?" We're like, "We're just dumb, stone, drunk, like hippie beatniks drawing." And these kids would just draw with us. Like they wouldn't do drugs, drink. They just sit there and draw with us, man. It's just amazing to see the interaction. So Demi walks around the corner and goes, "What are you guys doing?" We're like, "We're drawing." And she starts, "Okay, cool." And she got into it. And we started talking, and she told me how she just started. I'm like, "Oh, yeah, I know Tony. Oh, I know Doug. I've been, yeah, blah, blah." And she's like, "I don't know. I'm kind of freaked out." Because I remember Doug got stabbed. That's like Benny, the double D's.
Yeah.
And so she was a little worried. I was like, "Oh, don't worry. I'm Grog. I'll walk you home. Nobody fucks with me." And it's kind of the truth. And yeah, he was like, "Yeah, if you're with Grog, cool." But that's how I met Demi and started walking her home. I delivered her to Doug.
I would not let her go unless Grog's there. I'm like, Grog is the protector. He knows the streets, knows everybody. So does Mark. I don't know, everybody around here. I mean, it's kind of cool. I mean, it's I don't know, not kind of cool, but COVID was really hit everybody hard, you know, and it became a lot more homeless people.
Yep.
Yeah, they really did. And I mean, I kind of profited off it a little bit.
Good, I'm glad.
Well, okay, right when the pandemic started hitting and they were first throwing stuff out, I'm walking through Terry Hills and I found a teardrop, a champagne cut diamond that weighed about 8 carats on a platinum necklace, and I sold it for $8,500, and that kind of really got me off on my dumpster diving.
You found it on the street.
I'm not lying.
Damn, man. All right, so I'm sure with your time being, unhoused and all of that, you've seen some wild shit, but I want to focus on more of the funny side of it, of like, what is like your funniest story from your years being unhoused?
Okay, bless my little bro. All right, this is one of the funniest things, right? Because, okay, Bless is more of a tagger. I do murals. Aaron White's Mr. Professional Artist, whatever. Bless is actually on these dumpsters right outside the Lions Lair, and he goes to get on top of them. I'm like, so he could do this high fucking like spritz tag stuff. I'm like, "Dude, don't do that, dude." He goes, "Why?" And he goes, "Why not?" And he just jumps right in the middle and goes right into the dumpster. It was fucking great.
I actually have a similar story. I don't know. This is back in my teenage stuff in like Northern California, but me and some friends were hanging out on top of a Mormon temple, smoking cigars at way too young, and we see the cops come by, and it's a small town to where like, you can get in real trouble because the cops are bored. Okay. And so we all kind of have to like jump off the roof, and like we all climb down, but the cops are getting closer, and my friend just sees a dumpster. He's like, "I'm going to jump in it," and just, there's nothing in there. And he just falls through the lid and just smacks into it.
All right. Talk about security. Who all remembers the old Woolworths that used to be off the 16th Street Mall with the big, long freaking like things? Yeah, I did too. A bike tire. Anyways, we used to run up in our tennies all the way up to the top, and we'd sit there and chill and fucking load the fucking, bongs or whatever. And the security guard would always come out and start yelling at us. And it was one of the funniest things watching him try to come up that long Woolworths pillar in those slick bottom shoes. Just go.
Mark
yeah, that's slick bottom. I like my boots.
I got to bring up something too. This is for Mark. Have you ever had a run-in with the Guardian Angels?
Oh, fuck them little fuckers. Dude. Okay, I was at the old white spot, right? Which before that was an LC, or what was it before? God dang. Anyways, I left my wallet at Harry's, which it's now that bar next to Romantics. It used to be Harry's. It was a cool bar, like dive bar, like $5 pitchers and $2 shots or whatever. But now it's like I don't even know the proper word, transgender, lesbian, whatever bar. I don't know the right words. Anyways, so I had actually left my wallet at that bar, and I'm like, I talked to them at no, I didn't leave my wallet. I left my credit card over there. And so I talked with the waitress. I left her my wallet with my ID, my keys, like everything. My uncle sitting in the booth. As I left the old white spot, to run over to Harry's to grab my card so I could pay for our food, right? As I'm leaving, I start going towards Harry's. These guardian angels just suddenly tackle me going, "You ran out on your tab." I'm like, what the fuck? Cops show up. I actually went to jail over that. Told the judge the next morning, like, I swear I was going to Harry's to get my bank card, my credit card. And it's back when I had my landscape company. And the judge is like, all right, I believe you. You're telling the truth. He goes, this is probably like 9, 10 in the morning. I'm hungover as fuck. He goes, you have until 5 p.m. today, closing of court hours, to go to there, get your card, show that you paid for the meal and everything you're saying straight. Bring me the receipt and I'll drop the charges. And I did it. I ran all the way from the old city jail, not this new one that's all nice and
as
fancy.
somebody who's only lived here for 5 years, who the hell are the guardian angels?
Oh my God.
Okay.
High school dropouts wearing red outfits and berets.
Where do you begin? And they thought they were going to clean up the
They're
street.
just like vigilantes, just
Well,
like
they have
rolling
them in
around
New
trying to
York,
tackle
yeah.
people that
They
don't
have
pay
them in
tabs.
New York. They're supposed to help people out.
Well,
Yeah, I mean, like I know the general concept of like who
Okay.
the guardian angels are. I was curious about like how the enforcement was here in Denver.
Okay.
Like,
all right, you got a
I don't
bunch of guys that are supposed to help the old lady cross the street and get the cat out of the tree.
Right,
Trying to walk
that's
up
what
and
I
down
kinda knew them as.
Colfax and tackle Grog.
Hey, Mookie, can I get another shot of tequila, please?
No, they were like, they took what they were supposed to be and it went to their heads, man. They were
Sure.
a bunch of like nerds that like played too much like Call of Duty or something. And
No.
I don't know what the
right.
fuck.
No, I get you. I just didn't know that it had gotten like
They
that
thought
dark.
that
The
everybody-
guardian angels on Colfax. I was just making sure it was the same group I was thinking of.
I totally
Yeah.
is.
Like, yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
All right,
what is
all
it?
right, good stuff about Denver. Remember the barrel guy for the Broncos? Yeah, baby.
Hey, so, where you been staying at lately? Just curious.
Yeah, what's your current life
generalize
situation?
it. What's your
All
your
right.
situation?
Okay, there's this house I go into every now and then, and I kind of take care of it while I'm there. Nobody's ever really messed with me. I was in it during the pandemic, a little bit before that. So I just I'm so sick of these fucking idiots fucking with me, stealing shit that I'm trying to get ahead. Why is a homeless dude getting a jack a homeless dude? That's the dumbest fucking thing in the world. What am I going to get from that guy? I'm broker. He's probably broker than me. Oh my God, you got the fucking 1982 iPod? Wow, I'm rich. What the fuck?
1982 iPod, so just a cassette
I
tape
don't
Walkman.
yeah, or something. I'm just exaggerating. It's like, what the fuck am I going to get from ripping up? Why are you stealing from me, you asshole? That was my last
No,
$10
the
bucks. I
attacking
could have
on
got
homeless
breakfast and a shot with that shit.
Sure.
Fuck, maybe I could have smoked some crack down the alley with a hooker. I don't know, but you just fucked my day over.
But your current situation is a vacant house that you're kind of
It's
squatting
not,
in?
Okay, I know it's not a squat. I'm not squatting there.
Sure.
Like, all the neighbors actually know who I am.
Okay.
All right, I'm not going to divulge the address. It's at people that know me know where it's at. So I'm
Yeah,
in
you
there
don't have to do
sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, and I like to have clean clothes. I like to have
Sure,
electricity.
totally.
I like to fucking wash my ass and flush the toilet. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I got you.
These are
And
important.
every time I've been on this property, I've always respected it. Last time the police was there was in 2019. I was having a barbecue out back at 2 in the fucking morning. It was about a month before I went to prison. And the cops rolled up. They're like, "Oh my God, the
Yeah.
neighbors are freaking. They thought all the homeless people were taking over the house." I'm like, "No, I'm here." And the neighbor's a criminal defense attorney that's worked on the Supreme Court that liked me, and he'd come out and vouch that I could be there. I've done work for the contractors that were contracted. I actually know the last. Okay, the house was built in the about 1890s by a doctor from, I forget where they were from, who left it to his doctor's son, who left it to his doctor's son. Well, the last one was a cardiologist. I actually knew the guy. I've done work on the house before it became what it is now. Years ago, when I was with my third wife, pregnant with my daughter, Sophia. Serenity Purcell Bogart, by the way. She's 14 now. My stepdaughter Claire is about 28, and my stepson Tommy's 26. But anyways, so I done work on the house because it's like old school, like amazing stuff. But there is lead paint, and I'm hazmat certified through the union to be able to seal it and properly touch it up and still match it out and be beautiful. So I've had a long history with the house, actually, but the last actual family line of it was a cardiologist. He once bet me that all the drugs and alcohol that I drink and hard work I do, I'd die by the time I was 40. I was like, I bet you I'll live to be 100.
I proved them all along myself there, Grog.
But so anyways, so I have this house I stay in sometimes off and on.
Yeah, this is kind of curious kind of question. Where do you get food? Where do you eat? How do you eat? Where do you got any places you go to? Because I remember when I was homeless and I went up to there was like a house. And
honest truth, closed mouth don't get fed. All you got to do is ask.
That's true.
Period. I've gotten you to buy me dinner. I've gotten Demi to buy me. I've gotten John across the street to buy me dinner. I mean, honest truth, like, I've done a lot of dumb shit. When I was really young, when I went to prison when I was young, I was a jackass. Yeah. I was. But I went through this Marine boot camp thing to avoid a long time in prison. Said I was unfit to serve, though, but that's fine. But it changed my mindset. Like, theft to me is the very last resort. Like, all these idiots that hit Walgreens, why? Sure. I mean, fuck, I could sit outside and in 2 minutes have somebody buy me the fucking ice cream. Come on. And I'm not risking tickets and this and that and bullshit. And it took me a long time to learn that shit, though. But now, like, I mean, really, closed mouth don't get fed. All you got to do is ask. And I learned that in prison. You know, you want to know what they do to a motherfucker that steals in prison? Damn. Really. But it's just stupid shit I see these idiot kids do. And I try to put some knowledge on them. Like, just sit there and ask somebody. They'll probably buy it for you.
Well, and I guess that goes into my next question is, like, you know, especially those of us that are online and all that, we see a lot of homeless hate and things like that. And I personally don't feel that way. As somebody who has had the lived experience, do you, like, you know, view people as mostly good versus...
Oh, no, they're all fucking idiots trying to get me.
That's fair enough. But there are still some good ones out there, though. Like, there are still some good ones out there.
All right, check it out. Believe it or not, I've made insane money in my life. Okay, like, I've owned companies just had before my head injury. But I used to be that asshole, like, look at somebody and be like, get a job. Fuck you. I pay bills. I work hard. I was that asshole. Right. And when I had the injury and ended up, like, I lived on, I've hitchhiked across this fucking country almost. Well, half of it. You know, I'm raised by a hippie dad, a biker mom, fucking been around Hell's Angels and fucking the Grateful Dead following the Rainbow. I've been to rainbow gatherings and stuff at 12, 13 years old. But I've lived this really free life, but, like, after the head injury, it was different, you know? So, anyways, like, it's like it made me open my eyes and, like, try to talk, as we call you, halsies, like, try to educate to them, like, hey, look, man, you never know why somebody's here. Right. Like, yeah, I drink and do drugs. I've done it my whole life, but on the streets, yeah, I'm not here because of drugs and alcohol. I was stone cold sober when I fell off that ladder.
Right. Yeah, it's not necessarily always the cause.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Sure.
The angst and the stress that we deal with. But at the same time, like, I try to tell other people out here on the streets, you got to look at it from your guys' point of view, too. Sure. Just because you guys have a house and a car and this and that and blah, blah, at the end of the day, after you're done paying all your bills, your mortgage, your rent, your this, your that, your friends, your this, that, and your little bit of peace of mind of a hit of a joint or a crack rock or a beer or whatever the fuck it may be, you're just as broke as I am.
Sure.
So for one of you people to give me a buck, that's an honor to me. So I hate it when all these idiots out here can't just look at the same level. There's only 1% or 2% of the rich fucks in this world. Most of the people out here, the business owners, man, you're just scraping by just as much as we are. You know, and
That's the
sometimes,
truth.
believe it or not, we got a little better than you because we do have that freedom to say, fuck this, I'm going to go over there. You know what I'm saying? Which is the freedom you don't have, but you guys have those freedoms we don't, where you can just sit there and say, yeah, baby, I'm going to go fucking buy me a fucking like fat sack of weed, a big bottle of liquor, and play video games all day or something. You know, it's freedoms we don't have.
Well, and
It's a give
happiness
or
is
take.
definitely a perspective kind of thing, you know, and
Yeah.
freedom is a perspective.
I was
for
like,
sure.
how many
Yeah.
millionaires, multi-millionaires, you know, have killed themselves?
Yeah.
You know, it's like you got all the
lot,
money in the
actually.
fucking planet, and
A
you can't
lot.
be happy. You just got to
No,
be
yeah.
happy. You know, I
You do.
when I was like 18 and I got jumped and I got stabbed and I was brought back to life. And from that day on, I just realized that every day could be your last. So do something fun. Just try to do something fun every day.
Hey, check
If
this
it
out.
is getting a crack
Here you go.
rock, I'm all in. But
I'm just saying, check it out. During the pandemic,
never
one
done
of
that.
my favorite things to do is I'd go down here to the city park and I'd untie a boat and I'd just float out to the middle of it. and stare at the
That's so
stars.
Now
awesome.
that's legit. That is what
Straight
I was.
up.
And
That's
you
the kind
gotta-
of stories
I
I
would
was
do
looking
that,
for
dude.
too.
And I just
That's
lay there in
awesome.
one of their little canoe boats and just be like,
You-
boom.
you-
I
Or
get
the little
blazed
pedal
up,
boat things that are in
slant
there.
some booze.
You weren't
Oh,
on,
yeah.
you weren't on a boat the other day when Mr. Bennett's running for governor, were you? Because he's in City Park. That's just like thinking maybe like you could have been
All right.
floating by doing a joint.
here's
But when
one of my
nobody
new-
was
all right,
around, yeah, man.
Here's one
like-
of my new favorite
Yeah,
things.
like 6 in the morning.
When I first got out of prison, I'm also known for flying my signs, like my fishing pole. You know, the cutout.
Oh my God, I
fish.
forgot about the fishing
All right,
pole.
so I have this fishing pole I fly, right? It's a fishing pole, and I have a cutout shape of a fish on cardboard. It says fishing for $sign. I'll sit there and act like I'm really fishing. Well, anyway, so when I first got out of prison, they put me in this halfway house before I went to my dad's in the mountains and then came back. And so in this halfway house, I kept sneaking off going to MLK in Quebec and flying my sign to make money. And they're like, what the fuck are you doing? You signed out to the library. I'm like, oh, I need money. So,
That's a pretty genius way to do it, though, man. Like that's definitely unique. I like that approach.
I mean, come on, baby. I'm
You
not
gotta
a
have a gimmick. You
Hey,
gotta
I'm
have
not
a hook, man.
Check it. I'm not a beggar. I'm a roadside entertainer.
There you go. There you go. I appreciate that, man. No, there's still a hustle.
You are very entertaining, that's for sure, Grog. I fucking love you, dude.
Hey, baby, you can't
It's
make
like-
this shit up.
It's just like, hey, I haven't seen you in a while. I was like, you hold your head down. I'm like, sorry, fucking get out of prison. But man, you've been a really, really good friend and everything, and that was so
have you,
cool.
man.
Like,
That's like Demi tripped out.
you
She's
gotta
like,
find happiness somewhere, and I think that's awesome.
Demi's always like, Tony's always mad at you. I'm like, no, he's all good. He talks to me out there on Colvax. We're good.
Do you remember? I said, I'll let you in my bar, and you can have a drink.
Do you have the picture?
If you wear a dress.
What I
I'll give the picture to Pat. Oh, by the way.
Yeah,
Pat
you
Nagel.
got it, you got it,
He's
yeah.
our producer here. I don't know anybody called in or anything, but he handles all the
So-
producing and does an amazing job.
do. Hey,
But
this
you
is the
gotta get me-
only man in
we'll make
history
sure.
that got grog in a dress.
And
Just so I can walk in here and drink a beer.
I handed him a to-go beer and said, "Get the hell out."
All right,
But,
I
hey,
did
this
wear
is
a
why
leather
you're
mini
here right
once.
now.
All right, hold on. I wore a leather mini once.
Oh,
I
here we
lived
go.
Park Saloon back in the day. Wednesday night was
Oh my God,
mini
Island
skirt
Park.
night. Drink free to midnight. Anybody in a mini skirt? I took my girlfriend's leather and walked in, baby. I drank free to military too.
I don't. Yeah. I
yeah.
mean, I think wear a dress anytime you fucking want to, man. I'm all about it. Like
Yeah.
I think what was it?
Hey, chicks
my
are
my
lucky
friend
it's
was
hairy.
getting married, and I found that she was gonna wear like a kimono, like on her honeymoon. So I found it and wore it like drunk after the wedding, after the reception. We were partying at their house and shit. Like,
Yeah, that's what I love about you, brother. Because you're out on the street. You've had some hard times, but you're still trying to figure out how to have happiness and you really try to take care of these guys out here, the people
Yeah.
you love. I know that. I hear it from them, but there's a lot of evil out there too.
Hey, you know what? Like, why not be happy, man? Come on, what can you do to me that ain't been done?
So
You know what? I'll smile at you and say, hey, man, I don't care if you don't get it, eat a dick. But exactly what you said. Why not try to find happiness?
For me, it's really hard to hate. Really, really hard. And like some people just come by it easy. Me, no, hell no.
I'm with you, Chuck, on that. Like, happiness is hard, but I do have to constantly remind myself to be appreciative of the things that I do have. Because I'm an overthinker, don't externalize it too much. Don't internalize it too much. Recognize it for what it is and be happy that, you have what you have, and always just try and be better the next day. Like,
all right.
Whatever that means to you.
So last February 18th, my father passed away of stage 4 throat and lung cancer. He actually caught it from too much marijuana smoking, believe it or not.
Oh, God.
Well, the man smoked like 20 joints a day.
Damn.
He's true hippie, man. Sublime, I smoke 2 joints in the morning, and then I smoke 2 more. My dad's like, I smoke like 10 times that by the time they're done.
Times that by 20.
It's like, he actually cut, because there's 10 times 1,000 carcinogens, whatever, blah, blah. And even all the way through it, I actually happen to be locked up in Arrowhead, Colorado State Penitentiary at the moment for my dumb shit during COVID. And no, it was dumb shit, but it was kind of reasonable. I don't know. I walked that thin line. But so my father had a choice to either have nurses let him just take care of him until he passed, or fight the shit. He chose to fight it, and I paroled to his house. I was there, and I looked at him. I was like, "So why'd you choose to fight it? You're like the asshole that just rather have hot nurses take care of you till you go." And he goes, "What you think I fucking fought this shit for?" He's looking at me dead in the eyes. He just wanted to see me again. So I did inherit his house. It's 2 bedrooms on 2.5 acres in Cotopaxi, back door of the Royal Gorge, Texas Creek. It's beautiful. I helped my dad actually build the house over the years. But I'm doing my stuff here. But I thought about it, man. And when my mother, my stepmother, a lot of people, my half brother, a lot of people I've lost, my cousin, over heroin, fentanyl. Fentanyl's evil as fuck. It's. I thought about it, and my father's the only one I truly cried and felt sorrow over. And this last year's been actually really tough on me.
It's your dad.
Like, he's truly my best friend. But I thought about it, and I was like, that man made it to 73 and had one of the most amazing lives, and made this bad motherfucker. So why not smile, man? Because that's what my dad did. I inherited an album collection, which is partly mine. My grandfather's amazing. I have over 3,000 albums. I have first run editions of the White Album. I have every Beatles. I've got Beatles when they were Capitol Records and played with a symphony in England. Come on, you guys ain't got that.
That is one of the few things I did hear about you before actually meeting you. Is your love for records?
My Miles Davis. I got Miles Davis's wife, Betty Davis, not the movie star like Betty Davis. Like, you want punk rock? She was punk rock before punk rock was known.
For real.
Wow, Miles Davis's wife was punk rock.
Betty Davis, baby.
Like she'd
sing like, I came home and you didn't have the whips and chains, and I mean, she was sick.
She just had just like that energy, that's just
like,
that fuck you energy.
If you really want to know where punk rock comes from, listen to some Betty Davis, man. I'm not kidding. I have her albums. I haven't said stuff. I'm being pressured by my family to sell them, so I have money, but it's emotional stuff to me, man. I love my music a lot. I really, truly do.
I inherited my little brother's record collection. I ain't selling anyone.
I know. I heard about that. That's cool. Yeah, I can't.
Kind of going through what you're going through, man. It's kind of it's like a.
I got Average White Band, Vanilla Fudge. I've got Mamas and Papas. Like, I have every single Beach Boys, man. How can you not? How can you not? I've got the original Jesus Christ Superstar with the inserts and everything. Fucking.
And even through your unhoused periods, you've been able to hold on to those.
It's family. Like I said, okay. Right. I've always had a place to go, but whether I want to or have the ability to, like, the issue I'm having right now is I'm still on parole.
Right.
I'm also on bond because I bought this scooter off this dumb lady I trusted with a bill of sale for $300, and it turned out stolen when I got pulled over and went to jail. And so I'm on bond for that while on parole. So I'm dealing with this stuff, and I have my dad's diesel truck up on the land, but I still have to straighten out my driver's license by catching up my child support.
You got to do that paperwork bullshit.
So there's a lot of stuff I got to deal with there, but to get there, I'm still dealing with here, and it's tough. I'm not gonna lie, it's tough, But I think the toughest thing is when you're, like I said, constantly losing shit. Constantly being stolen from, or the police taking your things, like, in the sweeps they do, and everybody's like, well, they did all this housing in the mayor. No bullshit. When they were doing all those sweeps, putting everybody in the hotels and the Hilton and the this and the that, I lived in a tent on MLK for a couple of months just because after I went there, I was making. If I tell people what money I make playing my signs sometimes, like, maybe you won't give me money, but I can make anywhere from $100 to $300 in a day, and my day is about 4 or 5 hours. But I can't do it every day because, have my body's rebuilt. So, but I was doing good out there, man. So that's why I wasn't staying at the house. That's why I wasn't being around here because, shit, man, why do I want to ride a bus to go get there when I can just wake up and bam, get to what I need, man? I was doing all right, got me storage. But it's the stigma we get.
Sure.
Yeah.
Truly,
That's
man.
why you're on the show stigma right now. This is like, everybody's like, oh, you can't. I'm like, dude, I'm going to have grog because this show is
I'll tell you
about the good things in Denver. And I know you've been through some rough times, but
there's
you're
good
still,
things,
to
but
me,
this is
a
what I'm
good
saying,
thing going on in Denver.
This is what's still amazing. Like, okay, here's part of my problem. A lot of these, like, young street people out here heard about Grog and what he did in the pandemic. Like, I fucking robbed Target for 2 basketfuls of clothes and came to Colfax and started giving everybody clothes.
Right.
I fucking cut open a restaurant's fucking freezer and took their Wagyu Kobe fucking $500 beef fucking steaks and grilled them right there on that corner at Vine and Colfax and gave them to homeless people with baked potato and the fixins. And houses came out and they're like, how much for those? I said, you got to be homeless for this.
You mentioned food, Mark's there.
All right, that's what I got locked up for, all right? So these kids out here looking at me thinking, oh, that's Grog. He'll fucking, dude, he gangster shit. I'm like, dude, that's just hard. Extreme measures for an extreme circumstance. And that's why I got early parole at 2.5 years off of
You know, it's sad is like Safeway.
But this is what's great about Denver. My father told me this when I was young. He said, son, he goes, yeah, we're painters, wall barriers, carpenters. We build shit. He goes, Denver will always bounce back. Wow. We've handled so many recessions, so many this, so many that. And I'm looking at these guys out here, and I think I've gotten to some of them like, dude, this ain't the pandemic. People have come around. We've survived. Smiles again. Bam. People are giving again. People are feeling better again. Except for Trump, but I don't know what to say about that.
We'll stay away from that topic here on this podcast.
Anyways, that's my opinion. But anyways, you see what I'm saying? It's like we came around, man. And this country went through a lot of shit. This world went through a lot of shit. We all went through a lot of shit. But the one thing I've noticed about Denver is my father was right. Even with this pandemic, Denver's one of the biggest, rebounding and regrowing cities in this country right now.
I think it's definitely a resilient city, and I've only been here for 5 years, and it's been crazy because I visited it for 2 different week-long trips before the pandemic, really fell in love with it, moved here right when the pandemic hit, and have watched it come back and still fighting its fights and all of that. And I can't imagine what it's been like being here for most of your life,
I'll be at a meeting on Thursday, that's all I'm going to say.
Right?
This is my opinion why. This is my true opinion why. Because this is like my favorite neighborhood in Denver. I'm not going to lie. But I've been in just about every neighborhood as a gutter fucking ass punk motherfucker. But every neighborhood I'm in, like, Denver truly has that sense of neighborliness and hey, we look out for our community, and it really does, man. And I've been in Dallas, Texas, Fort Worth. I've been in fucking I've been in LA. I've been in San Diego. I've been in Tucson, Arizona. I've been in Santa Fe, New Mexico. I mean, I've been in Mexico. I've been out in fucking Kansas City. Like, no city I've ever been in is like Denver, where just every community, people really like look out for each other, and they truly do. And I've really seen this my whole life.
I agree. I've been all over too. I've been all over the planet, and I always got to come back. Well, I own the bar, but I got to come back to Denver, you know?
Yeah.
Because I could sell the bar easily, but I fucking love Denver. I love the music scene. I love the scene, everything, you know?
Yeah.
And I've been to other cities, and it's just, it's kind of heartbreaking.
And I got to say, I agree with you. Like, I love this neighborhood so much. It was the first time I visited Denver, I walked into this neighborhood and I was like, nope, this is it. This is where I'm meant to be.
Yeah.
And sure enough, I moved 3 blocks away.
You click in your hood, even on the west side, you feel how people click. I'm like
but
the ultimate
specifically this section of
adaptoid.
Colfax and this section of Cap Hill and Cheeseman and all
It's
that.
your fun.
I just love this area so very deeply.
Right. Well, you put a perfect, because we got our phones out. I don't know. I haven't looked at my podcast.
Okay, I got a couple things.
Well, you do that, and I'll look. But we're going to talk about the good things going on.
We're going to talk about some good things going on in Denver.
This is like people, like the news or whatever we can find, people talking good things about Denver.
Hell yeah.
Let's see what we got going on.
This one is a negative that's being turned into a positive, as I found. This actually on the Denver subreddit is a guy who's a local here in Denver. We know that bike thefts are a big issue here in Denver. Is this guy created a free website? He's not making any profit off of it, but it's just called bikealert.co. Go check it out. So that way, if you're finding bikes, if you've lost your bike, like, please post on there, because we definitely want to make sure that we can help curb that issue. I think that's a great positive thing. It's a non-profit type thing. This guy just like built out of the goodness of his heart and made some connections.
Can I add something on that?
Sure.
All right, as a previous ex-known bike thief in Denver, I mean, come on, it was money. Any bike that I buy, trade, or find for, I actually call the VIN numbers in, find out if they're stolen.
Hell
if
yes.
they are stolen, I try to get the bike returned to the person.
Yep.
At no cost to them.
And that's what you got to do.
No, like, I've changed a lot of my ways. Like,
I really appreciate
dumpster dive.
that.
I find somebody's like
As
lost
somebody who's
ID or
had
credit
multiple
card, I try
bikes
to
stolen
return
in
it
their
to them.
life, I appreciate people like you.
Yeah.
Like,
well, no, I used to be the asshole that would just take your shit,
Sure.
but I don't know, I changed. I was like, wow, no, why?
The other story that I saw that I thought was really cool is a bunch of Colorado high school students designed a bunch of custom snowboards, design and art, and then one of the local companies turned them into reality, took their concepts and made them, which I think is just...
Are they getting a cut of it?
Hopefully they do. I don't know on that, but it was, a graphic design project and done by a bunch of high school students. And then I hopefully at least the students get a cut. If not, like, that specific art program gets a fucking cut of that shit. Hey, I really hope so. But I think it's just cool when,
What do you think about that?
Okay, you're talking about art programs and this and that and the snowboards, and I think that's cool. I'm actually also a graffiti artist. I've done murals, believe it or not. I'm kind of, I always thought that would be cool. Like, one thing I thought about is, like, we have these empty warehouses. Why doesn't a nonprofit get a hold of one of them, right? And, like, let it be, like, these young graffiti artists or aspiring fucking paint can spraying people have a place that they can practice and perfect their art and not be harassed by the city. And it'd be a great youth program.
It's crazy because I was in East Germany and it was a blown out church and they built a wall. It's a huge church, but they turned it into an art community. It was like welders and everything. And you could wander through it and buy art and everything, and everybody was squatting the place, and it was just an absolutely incredible place.
That's awesome.
So I think that's a fucking brilliant idea.
I agree. And I also will recommend the 5280 Art Collective. Those guys are fantastic people, great collection of artists that go and work with local businesses, negotiate with them to let them get, that prime real estate on some of those buildings. I think one of them is the one that did the Nuggets mural, like just down here next to the 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
And like, those guys are super rad. I love watching their stuff, and they're super engineering based too. In some ways, like they built a whole automated like 6 or 8 can spray system, you know, and things like that. They're doing a lot of really cool things. There's a lot of really cool art collectives out here that are doing it the right way, you know?
Well, yeah.
Like,
That's like I think it's an amazing thing and this and that. Like I know how to use, one thing I want to try to promote is I know how to use what's called liquefied latex. And silicone. Oh no, I'm sorry, not like liquefied silicone. And if you spray it over the murals, it's going to protect it from the rain and weather and damage, fading. And if somebody tries to graffiti on it, you just wash it off the window.
There's nothing worse than that. Like a beautiful mural that somebody took a time and somebody just tags it.
Yeah, that's what happened to one of my favorite murals on 13th and Downing.
Broke my heart.
Our mural guy, kind of got us in trouble. But yeah, he was out there a while.
Yeah, no.
Chuck, we need to talk about that off air. I need the update on that.
Really cool faces out there.
Well, we had to get rid of the Joker. It was a little scary for me.
Okay. I was curious about why that black blob was there.
Should I go through mine?
Yes, please. That was about all I had.
I said, hey, man, on Facebook, and I'm like, anybody got anything to say good about Denver? Well, last week, 18 people just gave me a like, which did nothing for me. But this week, Troy Baxley says, Troy Baxley.
That's
all right.
Troy. Cool. Good for you, Troy. Right. I'm glad you're a good thing going on in Denver.
Great things in Denver. I got one for you.
Please.
3 a.m. in the morning, the old freaking call tower at Stapleton, the bar at the bottom has a 9-hole putt-putt, and I show up drunk with my own putter and ball.
Great things
yeah. Okay, we're not going to... We can't endorse trespassing on the podcast, but...
Hold on, I got a few more. Movi is a really good friend of mine. It says, John Huesman Comedy does a great show that brings some laughs to recovery.
Fantastic.
So I think that's really good. And then Alabaster, who was here last night, said, the Denver Burlesque Hub and Pop, a pasty podcast, is officially out. The Red. I'm making a whole $9 a month. Not losing money anymore. That's a fucking good thing. Love you, Dan.
Shout out to Alabaster, though. She's an amazing small business owner that does a lot of great work.
She really works her ass off. And hey, that was amazing. But she really she cares about it, you know, her thing, and she's definitely a good thing in Denver.
She's here at least once a month. Like, please come check out her show. It's amazing.
Troy Baxley, do you still live in Denver? I don't even know. Oh, by the way, you owe me a $40 bar tab.
Yeah, and she does what? Mark, what'd you say? Second Saturday every month? Yeah, definitely come check out her show. It's amazing.
Yeah, and well, anyways, normally we come to the part. Well, I guess you get to ask us any question you want. Any question, we will try to answer.
I always say that I'll answer until I have to plead the fifth.
Yeah.
Because I am not going to self-incriminate on a recording.
You get to ask Travis one. You get to ask me one. What do you want to ask us? Think, anything. I should have reminded him earlier. I didn't. So he's in the dark. Just one question.
I mean, I don't know. All right. I mean, what do I...
Whatever you want.
Are you content? I mean...
That's a fucking question.
I mean, what? I mean...
No, that's a real question, though, man. That's a real question.
Come on. I mean, I don't really have much to ask you.
I will have to say... that I'm content for about a half hour every day when I'm masturbating. The rest of it, my whole life's hell. No, I mean, I've just been going through a lot of hell, so contentment's really hard for me.
Okay.
But I'm actually content when I take Mark to San Diego and shit.
How many years have I known you? I mean, what do I got to ask
25 years.
And you ain't changed a bit.
It's a brilliant question.
You're the same fucking prick I've loved all these years.
I don't know. I'm pretty content.
I actually genuinely think about this question a lot, Grog.
It could be a lot worse. I mean, I could be like...
No, I genuinely think about this question a lot. I'd love to give you an answer.
Okay. Every day I open my eyes, I think of my daughter. Every night I go to sleep, I think of my daughter. Every day I wake up, no matter what happened the day before, I know I got another motherfucking shot at it because I opened my eyes and took a deep breath and said, God, thank you.
Yeah.
All right. So
I think about the concept of contentment a lot because I struggle with the concept of happiness. You know,
Okay.
if that makes sense. Like, I don't know, like I believe in, for myself, just, I don't know, I'm kind of naturally depressive and an overthinker and riddled with anxiety and other mental issues. So happiness are fleeting moments for me, but contentment is the goal that I strive for.
You gotta have it.
And so the way that I view contentment is, I'm content with myself if I gave my best effort and try to be better than the day I was before. I am not content when I do not achieve that goal. And I try to remember what contentment is when I do achieve that goal and keep myself in living in the present and acknowledging what is feasible, what is not. And just as long as you're giving your best with whatever it is, then that's all anybody in this world can ask of you, and all I can ever ask of myself. So that's my thoughts on that topic.
all right.
There's a
This
lot
is
of
when
people
I
that are
know
not.
I'm content, when I'm copacetic.
Well, I was going to ask you, like, our final thing is, like, what do you got going on? what's new in your life? What do you,
Me?
Yeah, what do you got planned? You got
Or are there
anything
any
going
other
on?
Okay.
groups you want to shout out or things like
Yeah,
that you want to
anything
let the people
shout
know
out, 'cause
about?
this is the last part of the podcast.
All right,
Anything
all
you
right,
want to say?
all right.
Closing, whatever you want to say.
I mean, I love Panda. I love y'all. I love you. You know what? Doug Kaufman, even though he's a self-centered prick, I still like that guy too a little bit. I've seen a lot of shows because of him. I mean, really, who do I shout out it all to? To everybody, Colfax yourself.
Colfax yourself. I love that.
Hey, Grog.
I want a shirt that says that. That's actually really
Dude,
dope.
everybody was worried about this interview, and I knew it would be
Shit.
just as amazing as
I was
it is.
so excited about this interview.
I love you
guys.
Dude,
No, I do, baby.
I was like,
Hey, like Blur said, I got my head shaved by jabroni.
all right, but thank you, man. Really, thank you. Have a few drinks, and
Yeah.
I'm going to throw some money your way because I got to do it.
Hey, it was a pleasure to meet you.
No.
Hey, Grog. It
Hey,
was
I'm a chief whore.
All
It was a
well,
pleasure to
hold
meet
on
you,
one
Grog.
second. This has been Laxin at the Lair, episode 27. Grog's leaving the stage. Grog, you want to say goodbye? This is my co-host,
awesome, man.
Travis, special guest,
Please give it up for Chuck
Grog.
Gibson.
Grog.
and I am Chuck Gibson.
Also, as always, I want to shout out Pat. He's the best.
Pat.
Appreciate you producing us.
Now
You're
go.
the
Yes.
best, man.
Thank you. Thanks for the interview. That was amazing.
That was a great time.